What was your major again? Is
Social and behavioral sciences and public health.
yeah, no, you're a smart person. I just point camera and microphones.
That's still super cool. I'd much rather be doing that, but like I got my bachelor's in public health, so I'm just like, you know what? Let's just do this.
And then the pandemic broke out. And you're like,
Yeah,
I'm
during the
ready.
pandemic.
I spent the last 4 years preparing.
Yep, pretty much. Like, cause Kent State's just like, hey, all of you are gonna know what to do during a pandemic. Like, okay, that's never gonna happen. It happens. No one's hiring public health people. Okay, what the fuck?
Listen, greatest country in the world. I should probably actually start the show instead of just cold opening since this thing is recording. How do I start my show again? Right. Welcome back to an all new episode, Saturday Detention, with me, the host. The host. I have two guests this time. This is gonna be weird because I don't have CJ to balance me out. Uh, guest, introduce yourself, please. Whoever wants to go first can go first. It's exactly what I thought
Go
would
ahead.
happen.
What?
Oh man, sorry about that. It was a minor brain freeze. I'm Nymphiax. I am was a content creator, streamer, and cosplayer. I have taken a small hiatus just because of the new pandemic that's been going on. I've been slowing down a lot of that stuff. I've been just focusing on that vanilla work life. But I still do. I stream every now and then, video game content, cosplay content, and fighting game content as well.
Yes. Oh, you're good. I am terrible. That
I love
is
it.
T. Yes. Double puns right here. TARABOWL. Hey, puns. That is my game. I have been indulged in video games since I was super young. I would say about 3. My first experience with video games was my brother thinking it was hilarious to hand me the controller for Grand Theft Auto and put it on a mode where everyone would try to kill me. That was my first experience with video juegos. Um, and from there, I've been playing throughout my entire life. My kind of favorite video games are platformers and adventure fighting games, whatever. Um, I worked at Gamestop for a good while. I'd say about a total of 4 years. And I've streamed a little bit now since the pandemic. I lost the job at GameStop, but I'm now doing contact tracing through Lake County Health Department to try to stay afloat since my store got closed. But other than that, I do a lot of cosplays. I cosplay monsters and stuff like Calamity Ganon, so that's the kind of stuff I've been doing. But yeah, I like video games a lot. And anime.
Do we all used to work at GameStop? Is this
Yeah,
a is
I
this
was just
a
like, oh
former
yeah,
GameStop employee group?
Oh man, this is a
see,
beautiful group. I love this.
y'all lasted way longer than I did though.
Well, it's because I was bouncing around stores, and because I did so well at the store, they're like, "Oh yeah, go ahead. We'll give you a recommendation for whatever store you end up at, except for the one that was closest to me." But that's a whole nother story.
That's always how it
I
happens.
love when that happens. Yeah, I love how that happens. I had that happen to me when I was just a basic game advisor. I was working at 6 different stores, except for the one closest to me.
How?
And then,
How?
yeah, they're like, oh, we need you here. Oh, we need you here. Oh, we need you here. I'm like, okay, cool, I could do that. So I was an undergrad and wasn't taking many classes, so I could just kind of jump around. And I ended up becoming an SG&A. For those who don't know, a senior game advisors at the one closest to me now. I was there for almost 2 years, and then shady stuff happened with the pandemic. My store closed, and they're not totally closed, but they're like struggling right now. They reopened, but I just don't want to work for that company anymore, so I don't.
Mhm.
How that dog.
Definitely feel
Yep.
that.
Oh yeah.
It makes me feel bad. I only worked one other location for one night, and he was like, "Hey, yeah, don't come back." I was like, "Bet, I hate you too.
Oh,
I'm taking the shirt
Oh,
though." Oh no, it
what
was
the
fine.
heck?
No, it was perfectly fine. He was just like, "Yeah, I don't want to do this no more." And I'm like, okay, I don't care. I'm new here." He's like, "Oh, yeah, this was a one time thing. Don't come back." I was like, "Hey, don't come to my store neither." And he was like, "Yeah, bet." And then I haven't seen him since. But then, granted, I only worked for GameStop for 6 months. I got fired for doing my job. It was great. Loved it.
Oh,
that sounds like a
fantastic. Were you a
GameStop
holiday
thing.
hire then?
Technically, sorta. Not. My first day was Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah, that's holiday. Yeah, they
Oh yeah.
they straight up say, "Okay, we'll call you. Don't call us."
Oh no! Oh no! So my cousin was. Is there a spot in between SGA and assistant store leader?
Not really.
No.
Oh, well, he was one of those. He got me the job. He's like, "All right, you gonna start Christmas Eve?" I was like, "Bet." I hated that. I hate that a lot. Then I worked the second day of 2019. That was my second day of work, and then they're like, "All right, yeah, you can just 10 hours a week. How's that?" I was like, I don't care. It's money." And then, long story, super long story short, we got a new store leader, got a new assistant store leader. He was like, "You gonna take in this week as trade?" I'm like, "That's not a part of my job as a GA." He's like, "Yeah, it is." I'm like, "No, we will literally go
No,
into the
it's not.
back room, look at the thing, and it's not." He was like, "You gonna do it?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not." And then I started to walk out. He was like, "Oh, no, come back, because if you leave, it's gonna be real bad." I'm like, "Okay." And then the boss is like, "Hey, yo, you were insubordinate, so I gotta fire you." I'm like, "Okay." There was a stack of games. I put them in my bag. I went to the drawer next to the desk. I took my copy of Shantae and I left. I went to the exchange and went, "Hey, yo, I got some games for y'all." It was great because he
Oh
was like,
my
"Don't
god.
don't you work at the GameStop down?" I was like, "Yeah, they fired me. You want some games or not?" He's like, "It's none of my business." I'm like, "Bet." And that's how I got
Yeah.
fired from GameStop for not doing a thing that's not part of my job description.
Yeah, like when a GA gets a trade while the SGNA is on break, like the SGNA has to get off break to do the trade because the GA can't do it. Like
Exactly.
that's what it's supposed to.
Great.
I was pissed the first day of the GA. I just had a GA working under me. He's like, I sat down so exhausted. I worked 6 hours, and the guy I had a half an hour break. I'm like, ah, fuck yeah, finally. And then he goes like, hey, I just got 2 PS4s in. I'm gonna need you to, you know, do the thing. I'm like, I added on to my break. I'm like, fuck this.
GameStop is definitely one of those companies where I was just like, all right, I don't need a break. Let me just keep going, and then I'll just go home and eat. It's so
I
bad,
kind of
Yeah.
though.
I
It's
kind
so
of
bad.
feel that. Um,
See, we only had 3 people running the store, so I was all for the breaks at that
how?
time.
How?
all
I bet that
Yep.
happened too.
Dying?
It's usually like 2 to 3 people at that store, and you're just like, it's just gonna be us until the next shift comes.
We had four, and then we
Yeah.
had two, and I'm like, I gotta close. They're like, yeah. With him?
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
Cool.
If I leave right now, what they gonna do? Probably cry. I'm like, hey, you buying me food because I'm closing with you? And he was like, what? I'm like, I will leave right now. I have no attachment to the store. He's like, all right, where you trying to eat? He's like, we just gonna go to Burger King because it's right there. He's like, all right, cool. So we got Burger King after he closed, and he was like, you ain't gonna last long here. And I'm like, that's the plan. Like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, a lot. It's like, why'd you even have this job? Like, my cousin was like, you need more money and you need to take some stuff because you run out of money. I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm taking this. I'm taking this. I'm taking this. Are we allowed to take consoles? No.
No.
Can we take consoles? If you can do it, you can do it. I'm just gonna shrink out this NES Mini. Cameron, put that back.
I'm so triggered right now.
I know. I'm just
It's
like,
like I
damn.
put it back as like, hey Jess, why don't you come shrink out this NES Mini? You're not taking the console. It's like,
The
what if we had
ASM
a
SJ and
brownout?
me is crying.
Listen, before GameStop went super corporate, my boss was like, listen, we have an insurance policy. I know y'all bad people. Just if you gonna take something, just make sure it's not more than $500. We were like,
Bruh.
Bruh.
is that like a shift, a week, a month? You want to like explain? It's like
Fam.
she just walked out. I'm like,
What GameStop was this?
no
Fam.
GameStop on.
It's still there.
Yeah, it's
My dude. My dude.
Yeah, then
Cameron.
Kyle walked in.
We
He's
have
like, all that's changing. I'm like, I ain't gonna last long.
yeah. because of people like you, Mr. Man, we have to show our bags to the camera before we left.
Yep.
And
I
like
mean,
empty out all the context, and then if there was like penny out items, we had to like show them in mouth penny out to show them that it was a free item that we were taking. Bro.
Bruh, like just because of that, like check my bag. I stopped bringing my bag inside the building. I just had everything locked up in my car. If I needed something, I'll run out to my car if I had to. But I'm like, you know what? I don't want to keep going through my bag,
that,
opening it up, showing it to
that
the
makes me
camera.
feel bad. I feel bad. But I don't though, because it's GameStop. They're a terrible company. I'm just like, I'm gonna do whatever I want, and ain't no one gonna stop me. Until someone was like, you need to
Yeah,
stop. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, I don't care either because all the shit that they did during the pandemic.
Abysmal, man.
I don't get how
Oh
they're still
my
in business.
god. Like they're doing some like my old store leader can't even go home without being fired because she has a fever right now, which is illegal for them to do.
Mm-mm.
Can she fight that? Have they improved this? Wait, I should preference. I
No.
worked at GameStop in
No.
like 2018. So all these new stuff, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, she told me that. I'm like, I work for the Ohio government. I can do something about it. She's like, no, don't. Okay.
Like I get why she's saying no, don't, because if investigation happens, they're gonna be like, it was her, and like, yeah, we gonna fight.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she had it before. So I was stuck with one other person working 60 hours a week to try to keep the store up and running
Oh my
while the
god.
store was still open before they converted to carry out 2 days before the shelter in place order. And we had no protection. We were like, hey, yeah, March 14th, like, yeah, my dude, we got you covered with sanitation items. March 16th, you know what? Nah, we're not even going to provide you toilet paper. Go have fun with that. And it's like, there's no toilet paper, there's no sanitation items, there's no hand sanitizer at any store. What the fuck? How are we supposed to take care of ourselves? And yeah, I was supposed to be in quarantine. I was forced to work, or else I was going to get fired. Um, so that was fun. Uh, I bitched and complained to our district manager almost every single day, and I was like, "Listen, I'm literally studying this stuff right now, and I have previous experience with the government. You need to close your stores." And she just it completely ignored me because I didn't wasn't a assistant store leader. Ew.
All right, and they've been like, assistant store leader, go complain, or I'm gonna fight you.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, so I have a question. This is a very dumb question that I already know the answer to. Now, when Jess was the store leader, and that customers, employees had like gripes with each other, how did y'all bosses decide on stuff?
Well, when we like argued.
Mm-hmm.
See, my entire store was basically one big happy family, so I don't know that.
I was gonna say, what's that like?
Yeah.
Most of my
I'll tell you.
experiences were okay in terms of that. The only one problem I had was with a guy that was like very like racist and misogynistic, and our ASM at the time was a woman, and then I also got hired in as SGA over him. So that was fun.
I wish him murder.
Literally, some kids came into the store. They were just excited about, oh, we're learning Arabic, and then he's like, well, I used to, fight over there, and those are dangerous, savage people. And I'm just like, oh my god, why are
Oh
you
my god.
saying this? I
Oh, I
told
would have
I
kicked him out.
Oh, I told the store manager immediately. I'm like, yo, this can't happen. Like, he doesn't even answer the phone. Okay, not hi, thanks for calling GameStop, nothing simple. He's just like, hi, what do you want? I'm like, you're not gonna last long.
Mm-mm. Oh, I would have
So
fired him so fast.
I guess this is a GameStop podcast now. I don't remember. I had notes. I don't got notes anymore. But I guess this is a GameStop podcast now.
I
Oh,
guess so. Oh.
my favorite, no, second favorite story. An old, I don't think he was senile, like 60 something, heavy set, uh, old white man just barged into the store, tried to rip a PS4 controller off, and was like, "Why are these locked?"
Mm.
And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
"So people like you don't do what you just did." He's like, "You're speaking rude to me. I'll talk to your manager." I was like, CJ. He's like, what? What do you want? He wants to talk to you. He's like, your employee was rude. He told me I couldn't take his controller off the wall. Blah blah blah. He's like, well, yeah, they're locked for a reason. Do you want me to unlock them for you? Do you need one? Do you have a color preference? He was like, this is you. You're being rude. I'm never coming back here. And I was like, hey, do you care if I'm like actually rude to this customer? He's like, don't be rude to the customer. I don't want to do paperwork. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just go in the back. And I went in the back.
In
CJ
my game.
dealt with the
Okay.
he dealt with the customer. The dude was like, I'm never coming back. Fuck GameStop. He closed the door. I was like, fuck your old ass too. It's like, hey, am I in trouble? He's like, no, I don't care. Oh, that reminds me. Do you know Ja?
Oh.
You know Ja,
Yeah.
Tara.
Yeah.
Ja walked into my
Yeah, he
store
came
one
into my
time.
GameStop. I was
Oh,
like, what are you
let me
doing?
tell you.
Oh wow.
Let what? Why was he?
Yes. I don't know. He was in park. I'm like, what are you doing here? I just kind of like I was going on break. I'm just like, why is Jaw here? And I just went in the back, but I was so confused.
You didn't speak to him?
No, I was really hungry.
I spoke to him. Ja had to prove he was my friend. Because the first thing out of my mouth, Ja, what the fuck you doing here? He's like, you can't talk to me like that. I'm like, Ja, I know you in real life. What the fuck are you doing in my store? He's like, oh, I'm looking for magic cards. I'm like, they're right there. Just buy your card, get the fuck out. He's like, you real hostile. You good? I'm like, no. I don't want people to know in my work life. He's like, why? I'm a terrible worker. I don't want them to know I'm a terrible worker. It's like, no, I'm gonna just stick around. I'm like, because he was like, I want to talk to your manager. I was like, hey, CJ, come here. He's like, that the guy you were telling me about? The dude that spends all the money on stuff? Yeah. He's like, sir, you can buy all the magic cards, but please get out. I don't want to deal with Cameron being angry. Just, what do you want? He's just like, what do you want? And I'm just like, please leave. Just leave. Ja, fucking leave. Get out of my store. Everyone's like, why are you angry? I'm like, I don't like Ja. Ja's very much, I have money and power. I'm gonna hold that over your head. Like, Ja, don't make me fight you. I swear to God, don't make me fight you. Tara, you know how Ja
Yeah.
is. I'm just like,
Yeah.
let me
I
calm down.
still remember the Jaw memes. Oh, they were so beautiful. Do you remember the Jaw memes?
No, because I was never a part of that group of people. It was our group of
Man.
people. We splintered, and I was like, I'm in college by myself. And then the Kent people adopted me, and then fighting game people adopted me, and then I graduated.
Okay, so this was just Anime Club on Facebook, and there was one. It was when Jess and Jaw were constantly at each other's necks, and I decided to make a meme of Jaw, and it just went like fucking wildfire everywhere. Did it because
Yeah,
it pissed
I
me
mean,
off.
listen,
Y'all
Ja
some
was
little tiny savages.
listen.
Oh, it's
When Ja was
fantastic.
like, Cameron, you're not a real black person. I'm like, I will
What?
literally beat the shit out of you right
What the
here. I
hell
was
is
just
his
like, Ja,
problem?
don't make me.
Dude.
I
What does
was like,
that
Ja, don't make
mean?
me. You don't talk black. You're not all. Well, I mean, I'm super aggressive, but in like not real life. It's very much an internet personality thing. He's just like, man, you just don't act like the typical black person. I'm like, Ja, I swear, Ja, don't make me.
That's why you just follow up with what do typical black people act like?
See, you're smart and you're civilized. I was just like, hey, get your friend. I'm gonna beat the shit out of him.
Well, it takes me a
Important
moment to
question.
like bring
What's
me
up?
out of that.
I get that. But important question. Do any of you have a teleporter so I can just like appear in front of him, punch him, and then just go back to where I'm at
I
right now?
Nah,
wish.
not yet.
If,
Nah.
if I did, I'd be a super villain though. So I don't know.
Same.
I would troll the fuck out of my friends. That's what I would do with a teleporter. And they know it. It's okay.
I will remedy that situation with Tara. You know our you know Mitch.
Which one? Great.
He slapped the shit out of Ja for saying that. I'm like, thank you for doing that, because if you didn't, oh, I would be in jail. He's just like, yeah, I got you. And now we don't really talk a whole lot.
Good. Proud
That was
of Mitch.
the one time he was useful. That's not mean though. You know, Mitch. That's not mean. That's accurate. Just don't. I'm hungry.
Yes. Me too.
My anger has made me hungry. Also,
Become the hangry.
I never set a timer, so
Oh. Well,
it's
let
been
me
like
see.
20-ish minutes, right? When did Craig?
It's
Oh
been
no,
about
wait.
30.
I can just check the time against when I did the Craig thing. Cool.
Yeah.
So, in case you haven't noticed, this month August's theme is in air quotes is going to be off topic because I need to edit Glenn's podcast and this had structure, and then the structure slipped through my fingers, and I was like, well, we gonna wing it.
Okay.
I'm gonna start taking notes. I'm keeping notes on my phone.
Great.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, because I'd asked you. You so in case whoever's well, the one person listening to this, because that's the joke I'm going to stick with until YouTube falls apart, hasn't picked up on this. Tara and Nim are both women. To prove a point, CJ made in other podcast like a year ago. I have friends outside of our friend group, and because of everything going on, I'm like, it's real bad right now. I want like a firsthand experience because I will just sit and look at comment threads and I'm like, none of this looks good. There's some positivity. Oh, never mind, it's gone. Okay. Um, but I would like a firsthand account of just the good and the bad because I know there's some good out there, but like it gets buried real fast. Help? Question mark.
You're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. I want to be wrong. I want things to. Well, no, things will never go back to normal. I just want things to be better. And the driving force behind that is me just not wanting to hear about it. Because I'll get on Twitter and I'm like, yeah, positive video game. And okay, we still here. We still can I get something positive? Anything? Come on, just like something fighting game. There's a fighting game thing like 2 days ago. I'm like, we we get anything positive out of that? Yes, no. We got two characters for Guilty Gear. That's it. Okay. Anything else positive?
Fighters got an announcement of an announcement.
That's not positive.
Definitely
State of
wasn't.
Decay 3.
Oh, it definitely wasn't positive, but it made me laugh. I got so much joy out of that.
That makes me so mad. Quit announcing announcements and literally go, hey, there'll be a thing.
Oh man,
Bye.
that's so funny.
State of
Just
Decay 3.
what? I'm sorry. What?
State of Decay 3.
Oh yeah, the Xbox thing.
Yeah.
Nothing on that had a date, and I was like, isn't fall in like 2
Yeah.
months?
Oh, Watch Dogs now has a date. November 2020.
That's a window. I want dates. I want Sony to go,
Oh,
hey, we're
there's a
coming
legitimate
out.
date.
What?
I think it's the 18th.
You swear?
Oh, yeah. Let me double check. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
Watch
the
Dogs
Series
leaving.
X and PS5 would be out within that week? Question mark?
That would. Ooh, I didn't think about
Give or
that because
take,
you can
yeah.
pre-order it for the PS5. The same with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I pre-ordered. I've never played an Assassin's Creed game, but I'm very excited about that. I know I'm a sin.
No,
I'm a sin.
I don't care. You know how many I haven't played anything that isn't a Nintendo for like the last 16 years. I have an Xbox. I've got third-party games for my Xbox, and I'm just like, I'll be fine. The only
My
first-party
dudes.
thing I have is CJ's copy of Spider-Man because I was like, I should probably know what the story is before the Miles Morales DLC comes out. And
It's
he was like,
Spider-Man.
That's very true.
no, he was like, it's
Oh,
standalone DLC. You don't need it. I'm like, okay, all right. Thanks for
but
taking that away
like
from me.
Spider-Man is such a really good game. Like especially if
It
you have
It
the
is a very
PS4
good
Pro, it's absolutely beautiful.
I'm poor. Although, hmm, now I have an
Why,
idea.
why didn't you just shrink that PS4
And that's
Pro
what I was going to
before you
say.
left GameStop?
So, shrinking like real
Hey,
consoles is actually fairly difficult.
Listen, Tara,
yes.
they
What?
already shrinked everything else, and me and you are being good noodles trying to uphold the
I'm
sanctity of
crying.
the
Stop
company.
doing that. It's a
And
terrible company. Let it burn to the
I'm
ground.
crying.
I work so hard.
Why you don't? Well, actually, no.
I
That
care
see,
about my coworkers. That's the thing. I
see,
like the
yeah,
store, but I
that
like the coworkers.
I didn't have that. Once my cousin left, I was like, I'm by myself.
Yeet.
Mm.
It's like I could keep this job, or I could just. Hmm. It came down to me. I could stay here until I get
Mhm.
my car. I just bought my car, so that wasn't gonna
Neat.
happen. Or I
Congrats.
could leave with stuff. Or I could take the middle ground and
Jesus.
just like not be a piece of shit for like a few shifts.
I'm
I
kidding.
kind of just like split up between the three. I was real good one some days. I pushed out those. What are they called? What are the warranties called? I used to know that.
Uh,
I should know that.
GPGs.
PRPs, DPGs.
Yeah, I pushed those out super hard for like 2 shifts, and I was like, yeah, I don't care.
All right.
And
Okay.
I'm
Real quick, I do have good news. I did
what's
find
up?
some good news. Okay, I wanted to bring this up before my this. Yeah. Watchdog Legions got pushed forward to October 29th, 2020.
Mm.
Valhalla now has a release date, November 17th. Same with the Marvel's Avengers, September 4th, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got some good stuff.
We got some good stuff. I'll have to check
Hmm.
out the Iron Man VR. Now that we moved into this home, we have like literally a whole like office space for me and Zal's computers, and he has a VR setup.
Yeah, I wish it was on PC because I would definitely buy that. I just rebuilt a
You
computer, so I want.
did.
Yes.
I am jealous.
Uh, Unfortunately, unemployment paid for it, but
Hey Matt,
yes, I
you
have
get
a
paid.
computer.
Do I get 600 for him for unemployment?
On top of what you would have been making weekly, what they
Wait,
average.
what? What?
Yeah,
Wait,
that's what
what?
when those memes about people make more money on unemployment right now. Yeah, those memes are true.
Yeah, it should be going to the hospital workers, to be completely honest, or other essential workers for freaking crisis pay for once. But no, it's completely backwards. At least, like, they make it like minimum, like 200 a week for people that are unemployed, or something like based off income that you were making before. Do that, and then put the extra 600 a week towards doctors, physical therapists, medical workers, and essential workers that have been working since day one.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
like I got so overworked at my last job, and also just got recently diagnosed with autoimmune disease. So I was just like, yeah. So
Oh.
remember at our locals, like I would start slowing down towards the end of the night, where I would like
Mm-hmm.
not play as much because my hands. I would complain about my hands. Yeah. So that's where all of that came from. And I'm just like, man, I need to really get this checked out, but I am super poor, and going to the hospital is expensive.
It
And
is.
then, yeah, find out got an autoimmune disease in the middle of the pandemic, and I'm like, can we get like can essential hospital workers get like some help? Can we get some help? No, no, okay, okay. So now I sell cars
Mm,
because everything is exhausting.
mm,
Hey,
I'm so
hey, what kind of
sorry.
car? What kind of cars y'all got? Let's talk.
Oh, we could definitely talk about cars later. Don't worry, I got plenty to go
So I'm just
over.
like, I was talking to mom's like, can I sell the car I'm not done paying off for
Yes, you
money?
can. You
She
can.
was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can definitely trade it in.
I'm like, Wait, I have to get my driver's license first. One more month. One more month. And I'll be a real adult. He'll start looking for a real job
Yes.
and just leave. Well, not
Yeah.
not leave, but it needs to be next year. It just needs to be next year.
Yes. Pat. Pat.
Y'all remember conventions?
I was gonna say,
My
oh
heart.
man,
I had a Cinderace cosplay ready to go. I was so excited. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get abs and be ready. And then everything
Yeah.
happened. Like, I gained 10 pounds. I cry.
Oh, no, 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 no.
What?
Y'all, uh, you have a car. You're an adult. Um, you can still go to Anime NYC. It hasn't been canceled yet. I still get emails, and I'm like, okay,
mm
all right.
My dude. My
mm
dude. No.
Oh, I know. I'm
No.
not going.
See, I don't have an autoimmune disease, but I do have a suppressed immune system, which does put me at risk. And I've already been isolated in my house because my boyfriend's a physical therapist and he works with COVID patients right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going anywhere to put anyone at risk or myself. Plus, I like to
Oh,
see
that's
my
fair.
family sometimes. I had to drive back to Kent and do that, but yes, yes, and that's stupid. I already had three COVID scares. I'm good. I don't need another.
Oh my goodness.
I listen.
Yes, and now I work with
You
people that like are losing their families because of COVID. I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. I can't believe
good.
Anime NYC is still going on. It's like, and like
Still scheduled.
we already know nerds don't shower and wash, and you're gonna,
Hey now,
You're a
like
rock star.
well, I say
the
I mean,
general, the general congoer does not. Me being security
well,
and a
yeah,
vendor, I'm just like I can't smell bad.
yeah,
Also, me
you guys
personally,
have to.
but yeah, I got my last anime NYC email yesterday, no, 2 days ago, and they're like, yeah, anime, and I'm like, y'all should probably say, hey, we're not going to be a thing. And they're like, nope, we're still a thing, and I'm like, Jason, are we going? He's like, nah. He's like, I don't like you that much, but I like you enough so you do not die. I'm like, hey. He's like, what about Ryan? He's like, I don't want Ryan to die either. It's like, hey, you're not a total piece of shit anymore. Proud of you. So yeah, we're not going to New York. Now I'm sad because I really want to go to New York.
It's okay. We had so many plans for this year, but it honestly, like I said, it made me thankful for the all the things that I got to do last year.
Yup.
Yeah, like all I kept thinking about was, yeah, I'm so glad I went on this trip last year. Man, I'm so glad I went to that con last year. Man, I'm so glad I went broke that last year because I did all of this because I didn't get to do any of it this year. All of the cons got canceled, all of the fighting game tournaments. We can't even do our locals anymore. Like
It's
I'm just sitting in the house
fine.
salty now. Oh no, online is
Just don't play Smash. It's fine.
there's a
Or
lot of there's a couple other games that can't
because
do
it say,
well.
don't play Smash. Don't play old Arxis games. Don't play Namco games. Capcom's working on it, kinda,
Hmm.
sorta.
Italicized quotes.
Hmm.
Oh
Hmm.
man.
They have a long way to go. So I will take Max's word for it and go, yeah, Infinite ran pretty okay. Street Fighter Five, and I'm just like, I don't play either of those games, but I'm gonna just take your word for it because you're an adult.
I gotta. Oh my
Well,
goodness, him and Jay had their baby, or she
No,
was in labor
wait,
earlier
she's
today.
in labor, and I'm just like, I'm
She's
gonna
still
be
in
an
labor.
uncle. My
oh,
my
congrats.
family was like, your sister's not pregnant. She didn't have a child. What are you talking about? How are you an uncle? I was like, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. So my family is very confused right now. I was like, I should probably explain. I'm not gonna explain. I'm just let them be confused. So
See,
yeah,
I'm an aunt of what?
of oh no, she did.
She did.
Yeah, 6 minutes ago.
Mm,
Oh, congrats!
I'm an uncle. Uncle Chat.
Yay,
Uncle Chat.
bro! Being an uncle or an aunt is a lot of fun. I'm an aunt of four. There's two nieces and two nephews. Oh man, it is fun. But once they start getting lip on them, oh, it's a good time. I usually like to
you got
troll
two.
them. What?
You mean when they're two? Like the terrible twos are a very real thing, as I'm learning with my ex girlfriend's child. So I'm like,
Nice.
hey, why is your niece? What is she? I don't, why is this small person harassing me? I'm just like, yeah, it's fine.
See, that's when it's cute. Other times it's like I go downstairs, they're watching like the announcement for the purge. The oldest is 12, the youngest is 7. I'm like, what are you doing? Like Eli won't share the controller. I'm like, okay. I go back upstairs, I come back downstairs. They're screaming at each other. I grab the controller and the remote, put on Trollolo for 10 hours and walk away. uh that's a good way to do uncle aunting stuff. I highly recommend it. Unless you have a nephew like mine who straight up unplugged the PS4. But it's fun.
I'd be like, hey, yo, wait. If any of my save data corrupts, we gonna fight, and not in the game. Because I don't have PSN. Because there's no point having PSN. I don't play multiplayer games. And
Get $10
paying.
free right now.
I was gonna say, what is it? It's $10 a month, right?
Yeah.
12.
It
Is
just
that?
$10
says
a month,
$10 free.
$60 for a year.
It's
So
not worth
I
that
would.
for the cloud. I'm just gonna
Well,
say,
it's
yo,
either $120 for a year, or $60 for a year. Which one?
and cloud's not worth it. I'll just play my games real slow,
You
real
get
slow.
free games, 2 free games every single month.
No, those are
Yes.
not free
Yes.
games. When I stop paying for it, they're like,
Yes.
we're taking our stuff back, and I'm like,
Well,
hey, wait, hey,
it's just
yo,
like
come
Xbox
on,
Game Pass. Come on,
I
man.
don't have
She's
that.
right.
I'm poor. I
It's like
understand. It's like
Netflix.
I can't. I don't have an argument for that. I don't. Only thing I pay for is Spotify because I hope I don't get caught for
Blessed.
this. That is what my cousin does, but he can do it for certain sub shows. I'm like, are you just learning Japanese? He's like, don't tell my parents. I'm trying to get the fuck out. I'm like, oh, okay.
I understand. I took Japanese too, for a bit just to see if that would help with just me and the culture in general. But it kind of helps now when I watch subbed anime. But I'm sleeping on like 4 years of Japanese just because I haven't used that knowledge in so long. I don't talk
That's
to
fair.
anybody, so the knowledge is there, but it's under a lock and key.
That's fair. Um, didn't you take Japanese, Tara? Am I the only
I,
person
I
that
took
just
Spanish.
didn't took Spanish? So okay, so I just didn't take a language in college, and everyone's like, "How'd you graduate?" I'm like, "I don't know."
You
Dude,
might have
I
tested
had
out of it.
the Duolingo bird with a knife to my throat. That's how I learned Spanish.
Oh, I'd be seeing that. I'm like, that's just the meme. Everyone's like, no, it's not. I'm like, oh, is
That's
it
me with
worth?
Arabic.
Is Duolingo worth trying?
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
would absolutely
absolutely.
recommend
Yeah,
Duolingo. Like the memes are funny, but like I've been
it's
consistently
not
using.
wrong.
Oh well, okay. I broke my 30-day streak because I legit just passed out and forgot. But I've been using Duolingo for like over a month now just to learn. I was learning Arabic now, and honestly, I am. Oh my god, I can read this language now.
Jealous. What's
Yeah.
that like? Because
So like
I
the thing is, my big complaint about Duolingo is it teaches you how to read the language very well, but not so much speaking. So like
Exactly.
that's the thing, because the voice ones are very hard, though they don't pick up very well, and that's where it makes it a little bit difficult for you to be able to learn how to speak it, but you can read it.
hmm
guess I could just buy light novels super cheap.
So like if I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna have struggle with Arabic, I'm like, if I can't say it, I can write it down or spell it out or text it to somebody and then they'll get it until I get proper pronunciation.
Hmm. I'll think
It
about it.
Yeah, it
It's I
does
mean
teach
it's
you sentence
free.
structure, which is really nice. It definitely
Um,
helps if you're trying to learn how to speak it, because learning where to put the vowels and the verbs and everything in a sentence can be very difficult across languages.
Yeah. Oh, I remember French in high school.
Mm.
Bless.
I hate that language. I hate that language so much.
See, and it's weird. French is the language I can speak a lot more. Oh, I'm sorry, speak better. LOL, I can't even speak English.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah, they drilled French into us in high school. They didn't even give us the option for Spanish. They were like, "All
Ow.
right, you guys are gonna learn French." Well, because and it was weird. We had a lot of Hispanic kids too, so you would have thought that it was easier to give a Spanish teacher,
Mm-hmm.
but we never had that. They were like, "Nope, you guys are gonna get French," and everyone was like, "Okay."
Yes.
See,
I
what's
I just wanna.
interesting.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, it's interesting because like when I was learning got my bachelor's in public health, I jumped majors several times. But when I went into public health, they had no required languages. And like I think you'd think they at least require Spanish, because 75% of the jobs in public health say bilingual preferred.
Yeah.
See, I feel like I'm in a very strange position where they're like, "Can you work a camera?" I'm like, for the most part, yeah. Can you point a microphone? Yeah. You can have a basic job anywhere in production. I'm like, then why are they asking me for years of experience? Just listen, kid. And I'm just like, no. Tell me. Explain your logic. I want it from a first-hand source, please. And he was like, listen, we just need to know you know how to hold the equipment, because if you drop it, we're fucked. And I'm like, don't y'all have insurance for that exact reason? Listen, insurance is expensive. We have insurance for people. I'm like, can't argue with that one. Because my coworker who, hmm, if I y'all don't hear from me ever again, it's because I got fired. He
Wait,
likes
why would you getting fired equal never hearing from you again? Unless fired means they're like absolutely taking you out.
fired is you don't work here, you go into jail for a very long time.
Why would you go to jail?
What?
So my coworker,
Cameron, explain.
he he's a sometimes pseudo stunt man. However, he's very wrong. He is very wrong. We were talking, me and my brother were talking about one of the Avengers movies. He was like, "Oh yeah, I was almost a stunt double for that." I'm like, All right, whatever, Ken. I don't really care." He's like, "Yeah, I just couldn't pay my SAG fees on time." I'm like, "Well, yeah, they're like 5 grand a year for just fees, not even your initiation and stuff." He's like, "What are you talking about? They're like $800," and I'm like, uh, "What? What do you mean $800?" Yeah, for me, I just gotta pay 800 because I'm regional. And I'm like, my teacher, who is a director on a global level, has to pay 5 grand because she can work anywhere in the fucking world. Wants to work in Korea? Sure. Italy? Sure. South Africa? Sure. Europe? Sure. He's like, oh well, I'm just regional, so for me it's only 800. And I'm like, you've established this. You like to bring it up once a week. It's like, can go it. Can go it. Go do your job. And then the boss will tell him to come go do his job. And then he will sit and read comic books. And we're like, dude, you were holding up production. I had to work 80 hours last week because of you. He's like, well, that happens sometimes. I'm like, Ken, if you don't get out my face, I swear to God, I will put you in one of these fucking barrels of ether and no one will find you. And then I will take your car. He's like, why are you gonna take my car? I can sell it and make money. Now, Ken, I'm going to very politely ask you to go away about being a stunt double. We know you're a stunt double. We don't care. We just want to get our work done. Ken, I have been here. I was at work for 81 hours last week, and because the boss is on vacation. He has no idea what happened this last week, and when he finds out, he's pissed. But because my coworker did not do his job, I had to work doubles every day last week so we could make an attempt to catch up on the production schedule, and we didn't because he had to go run a machine he's run 4 times. So all the product was bad, and they were like, "We don't know what to do. How did this happen?" And I'm like, "Should I say it or should I just walk away?" Because if I say it, I'm gonna be real mean about it. Because right now I'm not in a good mood. I'm gonna just walk away. My brother's like, "Hey, yo, Ken did it," and I'm like, "Thank you," because I'm thank you. The acting boss was like, "Ken, why was this final product bad?" He's like, "Oh, I've only run the machine like 4 times, so I don't really know what I'm doing. So why'd you volunteer to do it then? To help speed up production. But now we're even more behind because of you. Oh well, you know, like you can
Oh
see
boy.
me sitting in the like I'm in the room with them. You see me like on the edge of my chair, like yeah, go on, explain more. Mm-hmm. Because when I was on second shift, I had a totally different boss who would just walk in and be like, "What happened? What happened here? How did any of this? Why are we so far behind? Why is 90% of our work trash?" And I'm like, I would just point to Ken. And he was like, "Ken, you want to go home? You want to take like sabbatical for 2 weeks?" He's like, "No, why would I do that?" so we can do you not see all this bad stuff you ran? I mean, it's not all my fault is bad. And my boss was just like, go home now. He has to work doubles to catch up. She has to work doubles to catch up. And then I just have to do a bunch of paperwork because I have to tell the customer, hey, you're going to get your stuff when you get your stuff. He's like, well, okay. I'll just use all the sick time I have to get paid for it. And we're like, we'll put you on sabbatical and we'll pay you half. Just get the fuck out right now. And then
Wow.
he left, and we haven't seen him in like 2 weeks. I'm like,
Oh,
hey, yo, if he doesn't come back, can I have his job? And they're like, no. So what? Hello, excuse me. So what are we gonna do if he just doesn't come back? Like, we'll just hire a person who actually knows what the fuck to do and how to follow orders. Not order. Yeah, it's the best way to put it. So yeah, I worked 80 hours on 2 machines last week, and I am a corpse.
I'm
Like
so
I
sorry.
have lost weight. My mom's like, "You're gonna die," and I'm like, "Hey, I ain't gotta pay off my student loans." She's like, "Don't joke about that." I'm like, "Okay, my bad."
Oh, dude, my boyfriend makes the same jokes, but he has $200,000 of student loans. His doctoral program in New
Mm.
York.
Oh,
Every day I just pretend that they just don't exist. I'm like, I'm always going to be in a substantial amount of debt. But as long as I don't let that existential dread get to me, maybe it'll go away. Maybe they might actually just cancel student debt.
listen, they keep talking about it. I'm like, it's yes or no. There is no big debate. It's yes or no. You know the consequences of yes. You know the consequences of no. Come on, stop beating around the bush.
You?
I hate politics. I hate politics, but we have to know. But we have to know about politics so we can be informed to make better decisions, so we don't end up with the last 4 years. I'm just like, can't we
Voting.
just leave it to like smarter people to handle this? And like, you do you not know how electoral college works? And I'm like, yeah. Did did didn't didn't they pick? Oh, okay, I see. I understand now. It's like, what if we just all moved to Canada? Canada was like, hey, we ain't taking Americans right now.
No one's taking
Mexico?
Americans right now.
Yeah,
Even I wouldn't
yeah,
take
Oh,
Americans right now.
I would.
listen. I was like, can I? What if I guarantee there's nothing wrong with me other than like anxiety? And they're like, yeah, no, you can't. You can't come here. I'm like, please? No.
You got that
Okay.
citizenship.
I was like, I'll throw it away. I'll get rid of it.
It costs money to denounce your citizenship.
That's fine. I'll work another week of doubles and then go, all right. I don't know. That country's bad. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't live there 24 years. I've always been a. What are people from Canada? Canadian? Is there like a special word other than Canadian? Everyone's
What's
like,
Canadian?
you need to stop. Everything you're doing, stop. I'm like, okay. I just don't want to be here no more. I'm tired of it. I'm just
I'll just sit
really
here and cry.
tired of it.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah, we
I
do.
do look at Japan because Japan's doing okay. Everyone's like, well, why is that your go-to? And I'm like, they make good food and anime. Is that it, really? I mean, their
Culture.
culture's cool for the most part. What does that mean? They do some really strange things, and
Culture diversity.
work culture is kind of toxic. So I'd have to find
Hmm.
not a salary man job. So, and that's difficult.
I was gonna say that in itself is difficult. You go there, you're gonna end up becoming a salary man.
I I was just like, don't. Who was that
And
taught?
what's unfortunate is they tend to be very racist towards anyone who's not Japanese.
Yes, extremely xenophobic.
Yeah.
I know. I was just like, man, YouTube career, you want to take off so I can just leave America and then do what PewDiePie did and go, oh no, my content's based off here now. So now you have to adjust the algorithm specifically to my videos to suit that. So now I get double the views, potentially. I'm like, can I do that? They're like, no, we don't. It's not. It don't work like it no more, dog. And I'm just like, hey, can YouTube just
Plus
collapse,
it's
please?
PewDiePie.
Yeah, he is PewDiePie. So
Mhm.
that's a whole other can of worms. I hate it. I hate it here. I hate it here. We got. What do we have going for us?
Like us as in
America, the United States. What do we got going for us?
not
We don't
a
speak of that.
goddamn thing.
I was just like, I got nothing.
We don't speak of that. Okay.
We make good cheeseburgers.
Nah, there's other places that make
No.
Yeah,
burgers.
yeah.
And that's because their beef is just better because they actually love and treat their cows with some respect. And they don't pump it full of hormones and gross stuff. I'm like, oh, that's a whole topic I can get into. Don't bring me back to my veterinary field.
Oh no.
I end up on a soapbox.
I mean, listen, I've watched enough Rooster Teeth podcasts to go, hey, if you want to talk about it, just go ahead. What I can and can't use, I'll decide and run past you when it comes time to actually sit down and edit. I like editing. It's fun.
Editing's fun. I love it. It's addicting, so I just try to not do it as often.
I need to be focused on at least one project. Oh, hey, you two both have microphones. I might need help with a let's play at some point. I will let you know. Oh, it's already 4 o'clock. I have to tell my sister I ain't gonna be there. I'm gonna do that right now before my brain just goes nope. Um,
What kind of let's play?
I'm doing a let's play of Cave Story, and to hide the fact I am like super dyslexic, I was like, I'm gonna make other people read characters' lines so I don't have to do it. My brain was like, that's a perfect idea. Yeah, you could do that. And then I was like, wait, I gotta schedule people and find people who have microphones and who know how to talk. And I'm like, oh, this was a terrible idea. This is more my producer work. I'm like, that's fine.
See,
Whatever
I
gets
could do
together later.
impressions pretty well, but I'm also dyslexic.
I think we're all a little bit dyslexic, but that's okay. That makes it fun.
And man, people love blooper reels.
That's true.
That's
That's
true.
very true.
That's extra
I've been in the
content without the work.
middle of reading a gentleman's line. Oh yes, hello. My name is Sir Frank Sinatra. Frank Sutra, and
People love that. Oh, I know what we could talk about for a brief. I don't have my watch on me. Y'all play Animal Crossing. I know.
Well,
I know you play Animal Crossing. I can't do the visual gag because no one can see the. I hate this.
well, I'm horrified to go back and check up on my animals. I have my village. I have not played since May.
Whoa!
I am
What?
horrified. Congrats, Gold, my dude.
How does that work? Because we're in a pandemic.
I'm also working as a contact tracer. I'm also in the middle of moving. I started playing other games that I find much more interesting at the moment. Cosplay, Sick Rabbit, now Healthy Rabbit.
oh, thank
bunch of
goodness.
things.
I was gonna say, oh no, why is it sick?
Bunny is good bun. She is
That's
back to
good.
being a normal bun, which includes destroying things, but I'm very proud of her.
That's good.
So, time travel, yes or no?
Right
Okay,
now,
so
yes.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Listen,
you know my
talk about.
story.
I
Like
do.
my Switch is brick. That it's so upsetting. I hate it so much. I really want to throw it off my balcony right now because I'm
I
staring
mean,
at it.
Oh,
do it.
So, well, the thing is, I can't bring myself to do it because
I'll do it for you.
no, because like
oh,
I can make
I
a
keep
video.
seeing,
It's
I keep
content.
seeing I keep seeing all this hope. They're like, oh, this Switch is bricked, and then there's different ways to fix it, and I like I tried. I went through every option,
yes.
and
So you see, when you time travel after not playing for a while, it still knows you were gone.
yeah, it still knows you were gone, and so if you time travel after being gone, it's just more detrimental effects on top of it.
So,
And then your villagers are like, I will murder you. You see this cockroach that's been living in my hair? Nah, it's gonna be down your throat.
For all the villagers got fleas, there's ants and everywhere. There's trash.
So I need
Here,
y'all to
you want some
explain.
entertainment? I'll load up Animal Crossing right now.
But yeah, so my stuff is bricked, so I haven't been playing my Switch at all, and it's very, very depressing.
I'm so
And
sorry.
I always have hope that they're like, because all these posts are like, yeah, I just left my Switch on the shelf for like a month and it just started working, and I'm like, man, I wish mine would just eventually start working.
That is clickbait. That is
You have a
bullshit. I
V1?
don't believe that.
Yeah,
I
I
was
have
very.
the very first one. So, and because of that,
Where's mine? Mine's in the basement.
um, so I was just like, ugh, I really also don't want to like I don't have a warranty on it, and if it did, it definitely expired by now. And even to the point, I was like, okay, so the Switch is bricked. Maybe I can fix it internally because I like messing with Nintendo's consoles. Yeah, no, it still won't. It won't boot up past any custom firmware. It's just literally a brick, and I don't even know how it happened. I don't use like third party docs or anything like that, so I was just like, it just died one day.
E.
So I'm just,
E.
And Nintendo not even just go. All right, we'll just give you a replacement. Just pay for shipping.
well, it's the
Yeah,
pandemic,
no,
so they
can't do
closed
that.
the repair shops.
I thought that they were
Yeah.
opening back up
Oh
because
Are they
hey,
no,
opening up?
I thought they were because they were
no.
like,
There's
hey
a
man,
national. Well, there's a national controller shortage along with a console shortage because no one's sending things over to America.
Yeah, exactly. So that was, and so because of that,
oh wait,
I'm just in
Sorry, I
this
just dropped my
endless
phone.
loop of problems. And the messed up thing is, like, remember, Cam, we were talking about Joy-Con colors. So I was like,
yeah,
you know what? I was like, my Joy-Cons are drifting like crazy because I'm like playing Animal Crossing with my friends. Some of them are streaming, and then you'll just see my poor little villager just drifting along. I'm not even doing anything. And they're like, dang, Nim, look at that drift. You just be going. I'm like, yeah, I just let my villager walk around at this point. And I'm like, you know
There they
what?
go.
I'll buy some new Joy Cons. And as soon as I dropped that
Mm.
$70 on my purple and orange Joy Cons, and this Switch
hey,
broke,
oh,
oh man, I'm like, you're right.
Oh,
I'm kind of over it.
and
what
you
would
got the
you?
Spookum times Joy-Cons too. Oh,
I
geez, I have
know,
those.
Oh,
bro.
what? The what? Time
I
out.
miss
What?
The Spookum times.
Pokemon.
I'm gonna
They
need
came out.
contacts.
They came out around Halloween, so I've just been calling them the Spookum Joy-Cons because they're Halloween
Oh,
themed.
that makes me feel real dumb. I gotta tell my cousin we're just dumb because we were like, yes, it's Spyro and Crash, right? He was like, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, and I'm like, are what you asking me for? I don't know. The only thing I can pseudo 100% is the pink and green or Splatoon. You ain't convinced me otherwise.
Oh,
it is
I
absolutely.
Splatoon.
bought
Those
them
are
on the
definitely
Wii,
Splatoon.
Yeah,
I,
those came out around Splatoon 2 release, so yeah.
man, you Animal Crossing fans, I need y'all to get y'all stuff sooner so they can start working. Well, not start, so they can officially announce, hey, we're making Splatoon 3 because they were like, hey,
And that's another
same
thing.
team.
Like, I miss playing Splatoon, and then like I started meeting
No, you
different
don't.
like,
No,
people
you
on
don't.
Twitter.
No, you
I
don't.
do, man.
No,
I
fam,
just got the
that's a
Octo
lie.
expansion. I do. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real with you. I got the Octo expansion. I was like getting really good at the platforming. Then I got really, really good at the multiplayer. Started killing all these, like literally killing kids. Like I'm just like, you're clearly a child because you don't know how to play this game.
Fair.
And again, boom, it just every Switch thing has been ripped from me. And then of course Pokemon not having cloud saves, except just coming out with Pokemon Home. Yeah, those Pokemon are probably gone too. So
Oh no.
I'm like emotionally
Oh wait, time out.
devastated.
We can talk about if you can get me a list of Pokemon you had. We can talk.
I just
Yeah,
want
same.
I don't know. I'm just like at this point I don't know if I should try to send my Switch in to get repaired because it's unrepairable. What and I know what they're gonna do, and they're gonna be like, oh, here we'll just give you. They'll probably just try to replace it or something, which I
Yeah.
don't know how that
Uh,
works. Like I don't know
the,
how that'll be.
see, you can send it to Nintendo of America, but the issue is since you did open up the Switch, they will charge you.
Exactly.
Mm,
And that's the thing is like I did like I opened it up. I mean everything is in there is nice and fine and fixed and whatnot, but it's just it's because they did open it up, and I know they're gonna charge me for that. It's like, dude. I mean, at this point, I'm just like ready to just
Just wait for the Switch Pro. It's 100% totally a thing and coming out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait for that.
sure. Bro,
God, I
they
wish.
they are
Actually is.
never. America's never gonna get any consoles sent to us ever again, and it's so devastating. I hate it here. We can't just get
So,
our shit together for like 2 months, so the rest of the
2
world can see
seconds.
that we're not idiots.
but listen, Florida. If we could be like, yo, Florida, you ain't part. Florida, y'all don't count. California,
Chip off the
2 million
panhandle.
people.
Be gone.
Yeah, and just like it's like because my boss he went to Florida for his family was having a thing, and he was like, I don't want to go. I really just don't. I'm like, then don't. You're like 50. You are a grown ass man. Don't go. Yeah, but my grandma. I'm like, you still have a grandma? I'm like, whoa. Then, all right, maybe you gotta go.
Oh,
He's like, yeah. I was like, so you're gonna quarantine when you get back? And he was like, what do you think? I'm like, you're smart. So I wanted to say yes. He's like, yeah. Have you seen the workplace right now? I'm like, yeah, you ain't gonna do that. I was like, just don't come near me. He's like, what about the other coworkers? I'm like, don't go near my brother. You don't care about anyone else. I'm like, right now, no, fam.
see,
I'm here for a
see, Ohio
paycheck.
just joined the mandatory quarantine when you travel.
Ooh, wonder how that's gonna work. Cause I
Yeah.
can't talk about my job in detail. I work for an adhesive factory. That's all I'm allowed to say right now. Cause we're in trouble. And it's great.
Oh. Well, I kind of have an answer. Because I work for the Ohio government. Since your job impacts the supply line, your supervisor is supposed to be making um arrangements for you to be able to quarantine while you're at work.
What do you mean?
So the law states that like if there's any like places like for example, a great example is a nuclear power plant. If one person were to get sick and test positive for COVID, and they're the ones who's mostly in charge of keeping the reactor from going critical,
Uh-huh.
the supervisors are supposed to accommodate the workstation for them to be comfortable and still work so that the reactor doesn't go critical.
I understand what you're saying.
It just doesn't make sense.
No, 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 it makes sense. It's just that's not we don't.
Doesn't make sense to me.
It's also been like an amount of time. So if y'all want to like wrap this up, I don't know how I did another off topic. I had a topic and now it's just gone. So uh any final things as I figure out how to work Craig and go back to being asleep?
Oh yeah, you just do the same thing as before, but you just type in stop instead of join. Um, and then I guess one thing that we could kind of finish up on for extra content, I guess this will kind of help with editing. We could just talk about like cosplays that we've done, because I know that was one thing you wanted to ask us about.
Yeah. So I don't cosplay because I'm poor. Then I would literally never have time because I am always, hey, I'm gonna vend and bring home like $300 this weekend, and everyone's like, well, don't you want to enjoy the convention? And I'm like, money. I'm like, all
Well,
right,
you can enjoy the convention without cosplay.
That's true.
yes, you're right. However, I haven't I would say Anime NYC, which I had a lot of fun. Before that, I haven't attended a convention for fun in like 2 years. It's either Colossal getting real drunk after doing security, or various cons around Ohio and some other states going, I'm gonna be a vendor and make money because I'm poor. That and I wanna take some shit from my boss, and he's like, as long as you work, I don't care. I'm like, bet.
Yeah, cons are about just having fun with the right kind of people. If you're not having fun at a convention anymore, you just need to find a better friend group for that.
That is
Yes,
the
yes.
most perfect thing I've ever heard in my entire life. You can
My
go have fun at cons if you're with the right kind of people. Beautiful.
My only problem with that is, man, how do I start a conversation? Because I have talked to very many people. They're like, yeah, you can hold and do conversation. You can't start one to save your fucking life. And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Can
Well,
just come hang out
that's
with us.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, like, I would definitely be down to hang out with Tara. Look, you got a small group here, and then we'll just pick everyone up and we'll just go. It's very easy to talk to people. Well, it's coming from a socially awkward person
So,
myself.
hi,
I've
hello.
been finding it a lot easier when I talk to people, especially now that I'm like selling cars and I kind of have to initiate conversation and talk with people. You just gotta do it. Like, it's weird enough as it says, once you overcome the first barrier, it becomes easier after that.
Also, it's easy to have an extrovert like me come and adopt you. Can't say
Yeah,
that.
seriously. Yeah, like if you have and like yeah, no, I've run into extroverts that have adopted me and I'm just like, "Well, this is it. This is what we're going with." And they're like, "Yeah, this is it. Now let's go." And then you just follow them. And you don't even have to say a lot of things sometimes.
My God, Nymph, I just thought you said I've rented extroverts to come get me.
Oh.
Hey, I was just like, hey, yo, I was like, wait a minute. I thought we were friends with some of those people.
No,
I've
I wish I could
rented
rent a
extra.
friend. No, but it's especially at cons, it's gotten to the point where I'm just like, okay, this girl looks cute. I'm gonna compliment her on her cosplay because she probably put in a lot of work into it and may or may not want to talk about it. And then you just go from there. I'm like, hey, I love your cosplay. I love the work your shoes are. Something simple. That's just how I've been like meeting friends. And then usually I'm like drunk and inebriated. I'm like cheering people on or we're dancing, and that's how those things work.
I can attest to that
LOL.
because at Colossal, it was you, Holden, and what is his online name?
Zal?
Zal?
Alias?
Yeah. You were leading the charge. They were just kind of there. And I was just
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, there they go. Like, there go my friends. Jason's like, you don't have friends. And I'm like, hey, y'all, come over here. And y'all literally was like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, see, friends, Kit
Mhm.
Kats, friends. I'll pay you. I'll pay for those later. Friends.
I know. My gosh. Oh, those Kit Kats were those Kit Kats were smashed, man.
Listen,
I wanted to keep it for like aesthetic reasons too. Like I was like, I'm just gonna open this nicely because I wanted to decorate with it, and we just
what
smashed it.
flavor were those? Do you remember?
I don't know if they were. I don't know if it was mint, green tea, or strawberry. Cause
Oh,
I
green
don't.
tea Kit Kats are blessed.
I don't remember, but it was a great flavor.
I
Is
I feel bad now.
lychee? I don't know.
Lychee. Oh no, I think
Lychee.
so. I know for a fact it was probably the mint because that's pretty much all we had left. Because people were like, "Ew, no," I'm like, you are full.
I love mint and love chocolate mint. That is my thing. Oh, I think it was a chocolate mint Kit Kat because I'm the
Also,
only kind of person that would eat that.
say so. Tara,
Yes.
you said the matcha green tea.
Mm.
Yes.
I can't do those anymore. I've become a pretentious piece of shit
Oh no. Have you indulged
because
in too many of the matchas?
no, just other. So I during that convention, I probably stole like 4 bags of Kit Kats from Jason, and he was like, "I don't care." I had the the orange chocolate, the sake, the mint and chocolate. We had mascarpone cheese and melon. And, like it wasn't a bag; it was a small box. I tried one. I'm like, we're not selling these. I'm just gonna buy them myself. That's what happened. Just like each Kit Kat flavor we had, I tried. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take this information I have and apply it to the real world. So now I have ocean salt Kit Kats that we got from Asian Market yesterday,
Mm.
raspberry and something else from an Asian market. I'm like, these are great. I can't eat matcha though. I cannot eat matcha Kit Kats. I can only drink matcha tea. My brain's like, that's not. They're the same flavor. What's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. Like I won't turn my nose up at it, but I'm just like, I don't want that. I've had enough of it. I want to try something else.
Yeah, it's like me with white chocolate. I despise white chocolate.
It's
Almost
just
everything.
sugar. It's just I can't do it. Once I learned that, I was like, I can't do this ever again in life.
Yup.
All right,
They're releasing the green tea Kit Kats publicly. Speaking of, they're gonna be like in Target and stuff.
they're gonna be expensive too, aren't they?
They're quite pricey.
See, Go to your Asian markets. They will have the exact same stuff for like a fourth of the price.
Exactly.
Except for my mascarpone and Kit Kats, and that makes me sad. I can't buy those anywhere because people are just like, that's disgusting. How did they even get that flavor combination? And I'm like, listen, don't judge it till you try it.
Oh, and before we end off and go, I'd be more than happy to come back, do another podcast, or just chit chat or whatever have
Yeah,
you.
because I need
Like,
to have actual structure this next time.
well, yeah, but that's why. I mean, you named it podcast test, so you kind of set yourself up.
Listen.
And then the group chat was podcast question mark, and I was like,
Listen.
Cam, how confident are you?
Okay.
We're
So
your buddies. We'd love to do this.
I know that, and that's the thing I did not use in college. Is I never built a network. It was literally, hey CJ, let's go talk for 90 minutes about something. Hey Glenn, he had a second podcast in 4 years yesterday. Uh, the last few podcasts with people I just do them regularly with. And it's always y'all record on y'all end and just send me the audio. Everyone's like, I'll not do that. So I'll always walk them through it because I'm like, hey, you might have to do this on your own sometime. And they're like, yeah, cool. Because I will just take all the audio and go, all right, I have control over everything. This is nice. I enjoy this. Because if I have to do it like a special mix, I'm like, well, everything's all blended into one. Everything cannot be blended into one mono audio track. 'Cause, like, I can't edit this. But if I have everyone's individual audio, I can go, I can do whatever I want. I could add in music and sound effects if I really felt like it. Everyone's like, why would you put yourself through all that extra effort? I'm like, I physically can't answer that question. I just do it. It's just something that helps me. Then I can put on my resume and be like, look, I know how to audio mix and balance. Because my God, people don't know how to balance. That's why you'll be watching TV and you're like, why is this commercial so loud? And just like, people can't do their job. I'm gonna flip my desk
I
over
hope
on
you
you.
can't hear my dog talking in the background.
I mean, I heard a bark.
Yeah, that's her.
I heard. Oh, she sounds so grouchy. I love her.
Because I'm not showing her any attention, and she's just like looking at me, and so we've taught her to use her indoor voice, so it's not like full barks, but it's that husky like woo 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 type of bark.
Oh, that's adorable.
I mean,
Ah!
Yeah,
you,
so she's trying to get my attention because I'm not paying attention
what
to her.
kind of dog is it?
She's half pit, half Bernese Mountain Dog, but her mom was a pocket pitty, so she's very
Mm,
small.
then call it a day.
Yeah.
The dog has confirmed the end of the podcast.
There.
I am not upset with that. That is a beautiful way to end a podcast.
You're right. How do I end these? I always have this is why I always make someone else
Here,
do it.
I can do
Here.
it.